Yo, what is up, you guys? Mig's back at it again. Today we got ourselves a baby chop. So at first when I took on this customer, I wasn't sure if I could even do it because how Jordan Brand makes baby shoes versus adult shoes, they tend to cut back on like materials and how they do things or whatnot. So I had the customer go ahead and send these in. I did take apart one of the other shoes just to see if I could even do it for this baby shoe. Looks like we can. So this is gonna be my first small, I guess it's youth. Yeah, it's a 2.5 youth. We're gonna do a chop on this, and we're gonna make these low tops, which I think are gonna be a lot better because the proportions on a youth size Jordan Mid is just really off. It has just like this very small collar compared to like the adult ones. They're a little bit more taller than this, but it just seems off. So I think these are gonna look really great as low tops. Follow along, tell me what you guys think at the end, and all right, let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to start off with cutting these wings off. I'm basically just cutting the threads. This will help me just, alleviate some space. I mean, I can go ahead and like cut the top if I wanted to. I find that it's a lot more easier for me to remove the wings off first. This way I can actually measure out things perfectly, so when I go to do my cut, it's nice and even going all the way around. So I'm just getting in there, using an X-Acto knife, use a little bit of a thread ripper, and just removing these wings off first. And then once I'm done with that, I like to like break down this shoe. So I took the wings off. Next step I'm going to probably do is probably take off this tongue. I'm just basically doing the same exact process that I was doing for the wings. I'm just getting in there with my X-Acto knife, really just getting all those threads, cutting them out. And then there's like a little layer underneath once I cut off all the threading. And then I have to go with the X-Acto knife and just cut a nice straight line so that this tongue just comes right out. what I usually do for this part, I like to, you know, mark off the length going all the way around the actual collar. I want to make sure that it's the same size going all the way around. I've been using this ruler for some time now. I have it marked for anytime I do these customs. I've done probably 30 to 40 plus of these types of customs. It really helps me out. I thought I would always have to, you know, change this length, but it's always been the same. I've done size 9, 13, 10, 10 and a half. This is a 2.5 youth, and it's always been the same size. So it looks like it's just, you know, a matter of just keeping it even going all the way across. And then usually when I'm like cutting this top area, I like to use a set of leather scissors. I like a more shorter blade so that I can actually get around. Longer blades tend to get in the way because of the inside of the shoe and how this collar is, you know, 3-dimensional. You can't really get around with a longer set of blades. And then for this process, I usually do, I usually will like measure the actual tongue inside the shoe before I go to cut it or make my lines or whatnot. But I like to just measure it just to make sure, see where I want to be at, how tall I want the tongue. And then I draw a line going across it, and then I cut it all the way across very even. And then once I usually cut that off, from the factory, usually the bottom of actual tongues are usually sewn at the bottom. This helps keep the tongue flat and not opening up because it's actually multiple layers of fabric, foam, and nylon basically. So what I do here is I basically just run a quick zigzag stitch on the bottom to keep it closed. It helps me when I go to sew it back to the uppers. Keeps things a lot more, just a lot more easier for me when I go to just sew it back on. So I'm actually going to be removing the, it's basically like a lace lock, I want to say, or a tongue lock. It helps so that your tongue doesn't slide around. It'll hold your tongue in place when you run your laces through it. It's a little too low on the actual tongue right now because it was a mid-top sneaker. I'll just remove this actual, I guess say loop, and then it'll leave some holes, so I'll just run it through the steamer real quick. It'll help remove a lot of the holes, not majority of the holes, not all of it, but it helps out a lot. And then I'll just create a new hole so that I can run the laces through the actual tongue later on. On this part, I add a little barred super stick cement. This helps me hold the actual tongue to the upper. When I go to sew this, I don't want this tongue moving around on me. It's a quite tricky process, and I could really injure myself if I don't do this. This cement is actually really strong. I could use just a cement and the actual tongue will stay there. I don't recommend it. I really want to keep things looking like more of a factory finish. So I'll add the cement. It'll hold the actual tongue, and then I'm going to stitch it right back up to the uppers. this process that I'm using to actually stitch this tongue back to the uppers, it's actually considered a saddle stitch. Saddle stitch, you usually would use a sewing awl. This is a speed stitch. It actually helps me out a lot. It's a lot more faster and a lot more easier. I find that it's a lot more cleaner as well too. Saddle stitches can be a little bit difficult when you're doing this because you can stab yourself. As you notice, I do have a band-aid on my finger. I did stab myself, but I've been doing this for some time now, and ever so often I do stab myself once in a while. So you got to be very careful with these types of needles. And then just to finish things off, I'm going to do a quick whip stitch going all the way across this upper. It's nothing special. This really helps keep the top closed. If you didn't stitch this upper part up, what happens is the foam ends up starting to deteriorate because of the fact that your heel is sliding into the shoe multiple times. So every time you put the shoe on, it little by little it will start separating the actual fabric and the foam, and it'll start breaking up. I put a whip stitch on top. I do it a little bit decorative. I make my own little pattern to it. I've always been doing this type of pattern. I guess this is kind of like my signature whip stitch, but I find that it works really well. I did a pair probably about 3 years ago, and I'm still using that pair, and I haven't seen any wear or tear or anything like that on it. So, but this is it, guys. Tell me what you guys think. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. It's been really hard. I haven't posted a video in quite some time now. It's been about 2 or 3 months. These videos, you know, they really help me out, you know, pay the bills. I don't work another job or anything like that. This is what I, you know, make my income from. And I really would appreciate if you guys would like this video, comment. I don't make money off these videos. You know, I make money off of, you know, you guys sending in your sneakers and me working on them. And if you guys share it, other people will see it. And comment below if you guys have any questions as well too. So I'll see you guys on another one. I hope you like this one. Later.